Welcome to Seeing Art History. Sandro Botticelli's Madonna of the Magnificat is one of the most glorious paintings of the Italian Renaissance. Through both its elegant motif and nuanced design, this work of devotional art gives visual form to the Virgin Mary's prayer of adoration, which we call the Magnificat. In this video, we will consider how Botticelli's art fulfills its devotional purpose in two ways. First, by visualizing Mary's praise to God, and second, by cultivating a personal and active spiritual connection between the sacred motif depicted and the viewer. As you look closely at this majestic work, please like this video and subscribe to Seeing Art History. The circular shape of this painting, which Botticelli created between 1480 and 1483, is called a tondo. The tondo format was popular in the Florentine Renaissance for works that were intended for use in private devotion in a domestic space. While this work now hangs in the Uffizi Gallery, the sacred impact of this large painting, which is almost 4 feet in diameter, is undiminished. The Magnificat, which is also known as the Song of Mary, is the Virgin's prayer of thanksgiving to God for blessing her as the Mother of Christ. Mary proclaimed,
"My soul magnifies the Lord, and my spirit rejoices in God my Savior. For he has regarded the lowliness of his handmaiden. For behold, from this day all generations will call me blessed."
The Gospel of Luke recounts how Mary spoke these words to her cousin Elizabeth. However, Botticelli does not illustrate the biblical narrative. In Botticelli's painting, Mary's submission to the will of God is rewarded with blessing. The Virgin Mother is enthroned with the Christ child on her lap. They are attended by 5 angels. 2 angels hold an open book, and 2 angels crown Mary as Queen of Heaven. This motif models for the presumed Christian viewer what adoration should look like, as well as the blessings that accompany it. No artist has surpassed Botticelli in translating the spirit of Mary's sacred expression into visual art. If the Magnificat is the Virgin's response of praise to God for the spiritual transformation he caused, Botticelli's painting visualizes what it means to be blessed. While part of the visual and spiritual magnetism of Botticelli's painting is its sacred radiance, his art makes its sacred motif spiritually accessible to us. Notice how behind the figures there is a contemporary landscape. This brings the heavenly celebration down to earth. In Botticelli's art, the realm of spiritual splendor is never remote from us. The Virgin Mary holds a quill. She is writing in a book held by angels. We can read the text. It is the Magnificat. As we read this text, inscribed within Botticelli's composition, we are reciting Mary's prayer. We recite this spiritual expression of adoration silently in our mind, or perhaps even out loud. As a work intended for devotional use, this tondo painting guides the presumed Christian viewer in the act of worship. Botticelli's painting makes Mary's prayer the viewer's own experience of faith. In her Magnificat, Mary proclaimed that all generations would call her blessed. Botticelli visualizes the fulfillment of this prophetic prayer as she is crowned Queen of Heaven. However, Botticelli doesn't leave us in the realm of glory. In both its motif and its visual design, the Madonna of the Magnificat makes us a participant in the act of adoration. We are transformed from being a passive observer of Mary's spiritual expression of praise to God to actively reciting the Magnificat as our own prayer.